I'm John for Kovachi Wheels, and we've been doing this business for about 23 years. Build mountain bike, BMX, freestyle, road, all kinds of wheels. You know, everything we build is hand built. It's kind of an old world type craft. And you know, a lot of people today, there's a lot of machine built wheels, but we like to do everything by hand. And there are some good things you can do with machine built, and by hand we can make it custom, completely custom for each person, building it for their weight, rider needs, or different colors. And just to bring a lot of experience to it. The hand touch on the wheels really makes a big difference. Getting the exact tension on each spoke takes the most, you know, plus the attention to getting the right products for each individual customer. And you know, we build a lot of different types of wheels. You know, like I said, anything from mountain bike, roading, unicycle, tandem, freestyle. Talking about building old school wheels, I mean, we do a lot of those. A lot of customers will send us their wheels like they used when they were young and racing, and they've saved them, or they had their old bike. They want to make them look like new, so we'll put new spokes in them. We try and use spokes and parts that are specific, you know, kind of what you'd be using back in the day. Also lace it very similar, exactly the way it was laced back then. So when you do build it up, it's very period specific. And that's really going to depend on the rider's needs or whatever, or what the hubs were done before. So like a lot of times you'll see like hubs will have an indention point in them. Like this here was a radial lace wheel. If we were going to relace this, we want to go back the exact same way you see those indentions. And the reason why is if you go another way, you kind of create a stress point in that hub. Where if we use the same old indentions, it's usually going to stay pretty good for a long time. Plus, you know, you won't have any new scars. It'll look more original. Also, once it's cleaned up and buffed up, it looks more like a new hub. So we try and stay, you know, really well on that. Also, we can get, you know, spokes that are just exactly the same as we used to have years ago. DT or other types of good double button spokes were real popular back in the 70s and the 90s. And we use those. We hand cut all of our spokes. So
you don't use double butted spokes now?
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah, we still do. But they were really popular really back then. For a while, they're really making a comeback now. There were no companies making butted for a while, but we've located a couple good companies that do make butted spokes again. So you get them in almost all the sizes. They're real in black and silver, but most bikes back then would always be a silver spoke. So finding a nice stainless steel instead of a chrome, because the stainless, you know, if they would have used that 20 years ago, they would have had good wheels now. So a lot of times the ones you see that are out or that have a problem are going to be ones that were made with a chrome type spoke, which are really nice when they get started, but once they've been around or they get oxidized or whatever, they do, you know, start rusting. This is just basically some of the techniques we do when we're building a wheel. This is a rebuild here. Customer had a problem with a hub, so we're taking it apart, rebuilding it. Do this with all kinds of types of wheels. They're again from road to mountain, BMX.
What kind of problems do you fix? If people have problems.
So many things. I mean, like this weekend, if you could watch us go, you know, be from having a cracked hub to, you know, a bad rim or whatever. We do a lot of that stuff on site. This is a BMX racer right here, but there's an old school show. And you know, we build old school wheels for people here. We can rebuild them. We can true their wheels. Do all kinds of things for them. But that's what we do on a daily basis. Build wheels, fix wheels, and try and sell wheels. So,
tell me anything about hubs, like if you're...
Well, if you're looking for old school type hubs, I mean, there's still a lot of good ones available out there. TNT makes an old school hub, depending on how old school you want to go. Phil Wood, TNT, there's still Shimano stuff available out there. Hard to find some of the other Suzus, but there are some good remakes out there, like Pork Chop does carry some good stuff like that. And then we can get you Bullseyes or Phil Woods or even Shimano Durace were real popular in the 80s. So there's all kinds of different ones. Arrays are, you know, were one of the most popular, and the Yukas were one of the most popular in the 80s and 70s. Some in the 90s, and they're kind of hard to find. When you do find them, they're worth a mint. Because on an old school build, it's definitely going to be what's the period of what you're looking for as Array or Yuka. But if you can ever find that kind of stuff, we can always, you know, supply the labor and the time to make them right.
So you've been doing this since you were a racer, or did you do something else?
I actually started building wheels just before I started racing. I was riding and just happened on a bike shop. These people knew what they were doing on wheels and bikes. This was in the early 70s, and just started working there and hanging out there as a kid. And started doing some wheels for them and working for them, and kept doing it. And worked in another bike shop and kept on doing more wheels. And then eventually went on to college, and I was doing wheels with my friends and top pro BMXers, and kind of through the bike shop got to know some of the mountain bikers and started doing mountain bike wheels and road wheels. And then when I was in college, I started working on a business plan to start Kovachi wheels, and that's how I started my company back in 1989. So we've done this for a long time.
All right.